Ending things strong. Let's see what the hell happened. Because you guys know what happened in the previous episode. It was a serious case of mood whiplash. How my neck is still attached, I will never understand. Sorry about the look to the side. I'm just turning off my phone so it doesn't ping every 5 seconds like it tends to. Okay, we're good.
Guys, I'm starting to get even more worried. Carly hasn't texted me back in over an hour. I think something's up.
I'm with Taylor. It's not like Carly to just break a promise. She's always so kind-hearted and respectful.
I think she's still trying to figure out how to put it into words.
So am I. I know we probably shouldn't jump to any quick conclusions on the situation right
If
now.
he killed her, I swear to God, the guy is dead to me.
Why there's been no word from Carly yet.
I'm not saying he did do that, but I'm saying if he did that.
I highly doubt Evan would do something that would put Carly in danger.
Taylor, I think it's clear we all have to face facts here. Evan must have done something to Carly.
Now just hold on a second, Declan. Remember what Serena said. We shouldn't try and jump to any quick conclusions.
Rose kind of does have a point, man.
Well, yeah, but
Let's
based on
all
the
just
information
keep
we
calm
have provided,
and wait a little while longer for an update from Carly.
it's been an hour,
I just hope
and we're
she's
literally
okay.
sitting around. Oh, yeah, that's right, she did kind of collapse. I forgot about that detail.
Oh, thank God. You're awake.
Well, faint is the correct term.
Evan? Wait, what happened?
That she said F,
You
Evan.
passed out, just a little
Like,
after you
fuck.
came in through the front door. I didn't want anyone to get worried or suspicious, so I dragged you over to the couch, set up a pillow for you, and let you rest.
What time is it right now?
6 o'clock.
Oh my God.
AM or
I bet
PM?
Taylor and the others are so worried. I need to contact them right away.
Before you do,
The worst part
I
is-
need to ask you a
The
question.
worst part is, now Carly has that weird case when you take a nap
What
in the
would
middle of
you
the day
do
and you're like,
if your
wait,
life was put
is it the
into
next day or is
danger
it the same
because
day?
of someone closest to you, and who has known you for quite some time?
Well, that's kind of a trick question. I've never had something like that happen to me before.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Evan, what's with you? You're acting very strange. I remember, right before I passed out. Evan, where's that body that I saw?
It's over there.
He hasn't moved it.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to try and lie to you. You saw what you saw when you came in, and there's no denying it.
Evan, what is going on here? Why is there a dead body in your house? Evan, fucking answer me.
Alright, listen, I haven't been honest with you, or even Taylor, since the beginning, so it's about time that I finally come clean.
Let's hear it.
If you would give me a chance, I will gladly explain everything.
Speak.
Why should I? Give me a reason why I should give you a chance to explain yourself, and not call the police.
Because like I said, Carly, I haven't been that honest with you or Taylor, so that means there's a lot of information that's being left out, and there's much more to this story that must be addressed and clarified. If that's not enough of a reason for you to listen to me, then I don't know what is.
"911?"
Alright, fine, but before you start explaining, I do believe there's a certain someone that must be notified. I think it's important that she hears what you have to say too.
This is going to break everything.
Guys, Carly finally sent me a text.
Really?
We've been sat here for 3 days.
What does the message say, Taylor?
Hang on, I'm reading it.
It's a paragraph.
Hold on a minute, this message doesn't seem right. Carly says that she found Evan at home, and he's okay, but they can't come back here yet to celebrate the rest of my birthday. She wants me to FaceTime her and Evan first.
Why on earth is Carly asking you that kind of question?
I'm not sure. She didn't give me an answer or any reason. But she's really asking me to trust her on this, saying that it's very important.
It's probably better than everyone just going there and seeing them for themselves.
Well,
Though I
did
don't
ask
know about that
Carly
for
to
sure.
update me if she learned anything, so it's worth a shot.
Well, is Taylor saying anything?
No, nothing yet.
Yep, there we go.
But it does look like she's fine with FaceTiming us. Hey Taylor.
Carly, thank God you're okay. You had all of us worried sick.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
Carly, you are so getting a major beating the next time I see you.
I'd love to see you try Serena, but that's something for another time. Right now, a certain someone would like to talk to Taylor.
Hey Taylor.
Evan, the fact I'm seeing you makes me want to cry. Why didn't you show up like you promised? What happened to you? How come you're not?
Baby, I know you have a lot of questions, and I'm really sorry that I made you worry so much.
You wanna know how I
Especially
got this scar?
I swear to God I feel like I want to break up with you, for making me so worried, and putting me in this emotional state.
Not yet.
I know,
Let me
I
give
know.
you an actual reason to
Please,
break up with
give
me
a chance
first.
to explain myself. I didn't mean to make you upset at all.
I just killed a man.
It's okay, Taylor. Just let it all out.
What's going on in here?
And we haven't even gotten to the big stuff yet.
Evan made her cry, Mr. Haven.
Honey, please calm down.
Taylor,
Evan, don't. Just don't.
Evan,
The cries and the voice have nothing to do with each other.
Taylor, I'm right here. Please stop crying and look at me.
Carly, just leave Evan where he is and come home. I don't want my birthday to get more ruined.
Just hang on for a minute. Remember what you asked me to do before I came looking for Evan? You asked me to update you if I learned anything.
Why does that matter now? I'm in a very bad emotional state because Evan completely fucked everything up.
Taylor, I know, but please listen to me.
He fucked it up in more ways than you
Imagine
think.
if I were to just leave you in this emotional state, without first getting some answers from Evan. Answers that you and everyone else rightfully deserve to know.
Are you trying to imply that I should listen to Evan after all the bullshit that he put me through today?
But he has more bullshit to put you through.
But yes,
Fuck that Carly. Evan has made me worry all day, and I'm so mad at him. He alone has completely ruined my 18th birthday. Give me a reason why I should listen to what you're trying to tell me.
Shows a dead
Why I
body.
should let Evan explain himself.
because your boyfriend was attacked in his own home, meaning that he was almost killed.
Okay, that's a good reason.
Repeat that, please.
I said, Evan was attacked in his own home. That's why he didn't show up right away to Taylor's birthday like he promised. Taylor, Evan specifically told me that he hasn't been honest with you or me since the beginning. He's been leaving out a lot of information. But when I think about the circumstances more clearly, I think he had a good reason why.
Carly, why are you all of a sudden defending me?
It's kind of her
Because I
thing.
made a mistake earlier, Evan. I jumped to a conclusion too soon when I shouldn't have, and let my emotions rattle me.
There's a dead man on the floor. I
know
think
as
you had a
well as
pretty
I
good
do that there
reason
are
for
always
that.
Two sides to every story. One side of this story has already been kind of told, but we haven't heard the other side, specifically from Evan's point of view. Give him a chance to explain his side of this story. That might really help you think about this a lot more clearly.
Honey, today's your special day, therefore this decision is entirely up to you, and you alone. Whatever is
I don't
your
feel
choice
very
or decision,
special.
You'll have our full support.
Alright, Carly. I'll give Evan a chance to explain his side on this whole thing, but on one condition though.
I'll happily agree to any conditions that you have, Taylor.
Glad we're on the same page here, babe. Now listen carefully. While you are telling your side of the story, I don't want you leaving out any information. All of us need to know everything that happened from the very beginning, all the way to the very end.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. You've
Okay.
got a deal.
He takes it too literally. Okay, then I inhaled, then I exhaled. Okay, maybe not that much.
Taylor, I'll let your mother know what's going on, and we'll put your birthday temporarily on hold.
Alright, Dad. Hopefully this won't take too long.
Time
Your
itself
mother and I will be in the
freezes.
kitchen if you need anything.
Okay, we are all ready to listen. Carly, please hand your phone back over to Evan. I want him to tell his story to all of us, face to face. Okay, babe.
She breaks down again.
All right.
Well, here we go.
Here's what I remember
Joking's over.
leading up to the
Time to
here
be
and
serious. It
now.
all
I guess
started when I was
everything all
bored.
started
Okay,
long
one
ago,
last one.
on
There
May
we go.
4th, 2000, at a hospital located in Piners Ridge, a small town located in Colorado, just 60 miles west of Denver. Earlier that day, my mom had gone into labor and was expecting her first child.
Okay, I didn't mean
Hours
literally
after my
when
mom
you were
successfully
born.
delivered the new baby into the world, my grandma and my grandfather joined her in her hospital room, looking forward to meeting their first ever grandchild.
There she is. Our precious daughter, finally a mother after all this time. Still feels like yesterday, when you were just a little one in my arms.
How do I know?
How do you feel, Sarah?
How'd you know the stuff you weren't
Exhausted.
there for?
11 hours of labor and 2 hours of pushing. I sure am tuckered out.
Well, I sure hope you're not too tuckered out when the nurse brings in our new grandson.
When I said
We've
it
been
all
waiting for
started
this
when
day
you were
for a very
born,
long
I
time.
wasn't being
I have
serious.
too, Dad. It's been so many years since I've dreamed of having a family of my own. Now, it's finally happening. But
Time for everything to go
there's just
terribly
one thing
wrong.
missing from this special moment.
Oh, I think your father and I already have a good idea what that something is. Or better yet, who that someone is.
The sworn her eyes makes me think she's in our bed.
Sarah, you know very well that we care about you, and will have good reason to worry if something comes up. You promised us that Owen would show up before you went into surgery to deliver the baby. The fact he hasn't has the both of us very concerned.
What kind of father doesn't show up for the birth of his own child?
He's just running late, Mom. Owen promised that he'd be here.
I hope you're right, honey. We're just worrying as your parents, concerned that Owen may have rudely blown you off, and won't show up.
You're overthinking this, Dad.
Ignore that.
You'll see.
Not long
Sure.
after my grandparents talked with my mom, the nurse knocked on the door and came into the room. In her arms, she was holding a small baby boy. That baby boy was me. My mom was overjoyed when she held me in her arms for the very first time. I would later see this when I got older, because my grandfather had brought his video
So
camera
that's how he
to
knew the
record
stuff
as
he
much as he could.
wasn't there. Well, technically
He
was
quite
there
an
for
knack
it, but you
making
know what I mean.
homemade videos back in those days.
I think you're getting off topic, Evan. I thought you were going to tell us how everything started.
You said
I
not
was
to leave out a
just about to
single
get into that
detail.
part. After all, it's why I've backtracked so far. Anyways, a few hours passed, and my mom was ready to finally settle down. While my grandma went home, my
And then
grandfather
Batman
agreed
showed
to
up.
stay overnight to give both me and my mom some much-needed company. This is when he came into the picture.
He? Owen, I assume?
Honey,
Oh, that ain't good.
Owen, where in God's name have you been? You missed out on the birth of your first ever child.
Sorry about that, old man. Stopped by the bar on my way here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Must have lost track of time.
Given the gun, and given how much he looks like the guy in the
It's one thing
ground,
to miss out on the birth of your first ever child, but sneaking a beer into the hospital after your wife gives birth to that said child is absolutely disgraceful.
why is this not gonna be that
Yeah,
size
I
in?
doubt it is. What matters is that I'm here now. So where's my new child?
Honestly, I don't even think you deserve to see him right now, not after you blew Sarah off, for alcohol of all things.
Yet, my dad, referred to by everyone
boy.
as Owen. My grandfather told me my dad was a very kind man when he first met my mom, but after they got married, things had started to go downhill, and my dad's behavior changed.
I demand to see my newborn child, right now.
Owen, that's quite enough. We don't need any kind of conflict here, especially during the hospital's quiet hours.
He's got a bad dad,
I
that's
think
clear.
you should leave.
I'm not going anywhere. I demand to see my newborn son.
Of course, I will punch
Sarah,
this old
let me
man in
see
the
him.
face.
As for you, old man, get out of my way.
Owen, you need to stop with all of this yelling, or else the nurse will have to call security, and they'll escort you out of this room. Please, just go, before things get worse.
Shut up. I'm not taking orders from the likes of you. Now I'm giving you one last chance. Move.
My grandfather didn't move, and stood there, knowing that if things got out of hand, I could have been hurt.
So things got out of
Security was
hand.
quickly brought in, and they escorted my dad out of the room. His yelling almost caused me to cry, but my mom managed to calm me down in the nick of time.
Sarah, I'm genuinely concerned. That kind of erratic behavior from Owen can't continue, especially now that you have a child to take care of. I think it's important that you consider taking some action, for the sake and the safety of this little fella.
My mom was always one to really think about my grandfather's advice, but when it came to stuff involving
Given the
my
fact that it was
dad,
her
it
father,
was very
makes
difficult
sense.
for her.
So the seeds of disaster were already planted way back then.
That's what I believe. So with me now in the picture, and my mom oblivious to the change in my dad's worsening behavior, my grandparents were being given more and more reasons to worry.
Do you think Sarah will listen to what we're trying to tell her?
She hasn't so far, so why should she start now?
We've raised Sarah right throughout her childhood, and especially looked out for her during her teenage years. Throwing all of that maturity away, just because she still sees some possible good in Owen, would be devastating. Besides,
It ended
you
up
and
being
I are in our
devastating.
golden years, and before we know it, we will no longer be here for Sarah to help her. The last thing I want before that happens, is for Sarah to keep living in this fantasy.
So then we just need to try and convince her to get out of her marriage, before it gets worse. I know it's taken Sarah a very long time to find someone, but the red flags can't simply be ignored.
I know. Even so, trying to convince Sarah to leave Owen will be easier said than done. Owen is a very big man in his 30s, and doesn't take too kindly to us being in his presence. He's a ticking time bomb, whose fuse could be lit at any moment. If even the slightest wrong move is made, we could be put into danger.
Given how quick he is to
The same
anger,
goes for
there's
Sarah
anything
and our
that's a
grandson.
wrong move.
So then
Breathing
what
is
do
a
we do?
wrong move.
What we can do for right now. Try and be there for Sarah and little baby Evan, as much as we can, while trying our best to stay out of Owen's way, to avoid setting him off.
I think back then, my grandparents had a plan to help out my mom. From what I can remember, my grandparents would come by often, to assist my mom with taking care of me, which really made things a lot easier for her. But whenever my dad was home, my grandparents played it safe, and didn't take the time to go and see us. They had good reason to, because over the next 5 years as I got older, my dad continued to get more and more addicted to alcohol, and soon developed a drinking problem. My mom thought he would have stopped at some point, but he didn't.
He didn't do anything
And
to
it ended
stop
up getting
him.
into trouble. I'll never forget that night. I was 5 years old, playing with one of my favorite toys before bed.
You'd think he'd be at bed by
Evan,
now.
sweetie, it's time for bed.
Oh.
But mommy, I'm still playing.
Come on, sweetie. Let's put the car away and get you tucked in.
I
We can
think
play
I
some
know
more
where this is
tomorrow.
going.
And there we go. All tucked in. Sweet dreams, Evan. I love you.
I love you too, mommy.
My mom gave me a goodnight kiss, walked out of my room, turned out my light, and within minutes, I was fast asleep.
I wish I could fall asleep that easily. You'll never forget that night. You were asleep through it, apparently.
Mommy, help me.
Damn it, where are my glasses?
Mom ran into the room, and she was horrified by what she saw. My dad had just come home from the bar, having had a few drinks. And he had raped me.
What the fuck?
My god, babe, that's awful.
My mom was horrified and in shock, as my dad got up and then just stood there as if he did nothing wrong, while I got out of my bed and ran over to where my mom was, as I cried uncontrollably.
Sarah, honey, this is all a misunderstanding.
I thought he was gonna beat the wife, but I didn't think we'd go to
You
this.
sick, perv.
Mommy, what does perv mean?
It's
I'll
not
tell you when
funny.
you're older.
You wouldn't understand. Come on, let's go get your drink. Then we'll sleep together in the living room.
And for the first time in what seemed like forever, because of that one incident alone, my mom finally saw my dad's flaws, and she filed for divorce.
That's two.
Once the divorce was finalized, my mom and I moved in with my grandparents, who were more than happy to let us stay with them, until my mom could get back on her feet. I was struggling too. Almost every night I would have nightmares about what my dad did to me, and some nights I couldn't even sleep. My mom tried everything in her power to make me feel better, but going through something as traumatizing as rape was proving to be too much to handle.
Oh yes, giving you a
Then,
small
as if things
child.
couldn't have gotten any worse, they did.
Then again, I think if even at my age, if I was, I think I'd probably have the same reaction. Well, fuck!
My grandma was killed in a car crash by a drunk driver, and it took a severe toll on my family. It seemed things were just going downhill one after
I'm surprised the
another.
drunk driver wasn't also the father.
First, my dad rapes his own son, then my mom finds herself unsure what to do to help me get better. And now my grandma had lost her life in a devastating and unfair way.
And she was 2 days away from
It took
retirement.
weeks, maybe even a month for my mom and my grandpa to try and start moving on from all the grief. They knew that I needed help to try and get back on a stable path. After a bit of research and careful consideration, they signed me up for some at-home therapy sessions. The man who saw me on a weekly basis was named Dr. Monroe.
Hello, Evan. How are you doing today?
Better than the doctor lip shits.
I'm doing okay, I guess. I'm just feeling very sad.
Well, certainly can't have that, can we? Let's see if we can turn your frown upside down.
You're not allowed to
and
feel
turn it into
sad.
a smile.
Stop that.
Dr. Monroe's first name was Gabe, and he did everything he could to try and help me. It was very difficult at first for me to interact with someone I've never met before, but Dr. Monroe never
Mommy says
gave
I'm not
up,
allowed to talk
and
to
over time,
strangers.
as I got older, he and I began to develop a very close bond, as if he was the father figure I had always wanted.
So, do you believe now that you're in a better place?
Yeah, I suppose I am.
Well, that's good to
So what, he
hear.
was like 8 to
Then
13?
I suppose there's nothing else I need to help you with. After so many years, you've grown into a very fine 10-year-old man.
10?
I think it's time you start finding your own levels of maturity on your own.
I sure hope I
Kid had a
can.
growth spurt like
Listen,
that.
Dr. Monroe, I just want to say that I really am thankful for all of your help. I'm glad you've done what you can to help me over the last few years.
Think nothing of it, Evan. I'm just doing my job. And please, call me Gabe.
Very well, Gabe it is.
Now, before we end this final session, why don't you and I take a nice little drive, and we'll go get some ice cream. My treat.
Unfortunately, trouble came knocking.
What was that?
Uh-oh.
Move out of my way. I want to
That's
see my
enough.
son.
You shouldn't be
I
here.
have my legal rights.
Owen, how dare you break into my house like that?
2 words. Old man. Free country. I can do what I want.
You need to leave and get off of this property.
That's not how that
Else
works.
I'm calling the sheriff.
Go ahead, call him. I don't give a damn. It's your own fault that I'm here.
How?
Owen, I'm serious. You need to leave right now.
Just stop, Owen. You're drunk, and me too.
Shut your mouth, whore. You are my property, and do not speak unless you are given consent.
Oh dear God.
Don't.
Why? You didn't ask for
Never
consent from
say
the
that
kids,
kind
so
of
why
shit
should
to
I
my
you
daughter.
accept it from me?
I just stood there, not feeling any emotion, and too nervous to run away or say anything. But Gabe was infuriated by all the things my dad was saying, and decided to take matters into his own hands.
This will not end well.
You call yourself a man? You are more like a drunken ass man-child. No woman should ever be viewed as property, because that's just wrong.
Oh wow, a smart house. Why don't you leave and go back to your neighborhood, you oddly?
And without a care in the world, my dad called Gabe the N-word right
Oh,
to his face.
here we go.
Now that's just wrong. Anyone who says the N-word to an African American is sure to get an ass kicking.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad did get an ass kicking, Gabe literally beat the living shit out of him and didn't light up.
Fuck.
After a few minutes,
Sounds about right.
Gabe stopped, and my dad was forced to retreat, bleeding and badly bruised. Gabe still took me out for ice cream, but I never saw him again after the incident. It sucked, but I knew I had to listen to him and move on.
And what happened to your dad?
After the incident between Gabe and my dad, my mom got a restraining order, and all of us in the family hoped everything would go back to
Restraining
normal.
order from the father. That
But
she
despite
sent out the restraining order.
order,
She didn't
my
receive
dad
it.
never stopped.
Technically,
Not long after
you
the
know.
incident, my dad started to stalk me and my mom almost everywhere we went. He just stood there, watching us, while drinking a beer.
Oh god.
When I tried to tell my mom and have her look for herself, my dad always managed to slip away. I felt embarrassed for making my mom worry for nothing, but I knew for a fact I was seeing my dad. The stalking went on for years, but I was helpless to tell my mom about it, because she always thought I was lying. In the back of my head, I knew something bad was going to happen, but I didn't know what that
I'm starting to
something
think this
was.
guy was born with the whiskey in
I
his
soon
hand.
found out, a few weeks after I turned 17. I was by myself
Stalked for
at the
7
park,
years.
waiting for my mom to pick me up.
Evan, is that you?
Oh, hi Gabe. This is certainly quite a surprise.
Surprisingly, they haven't changed much
I
in 7
certainly
years.
wasn't expecting us to cross paths again. It's been like, what? About 7 years since I last saw you? Where has the time gone? How have you been?
I've been doing well, and so has my mom. But nothing's changed much for us. My mom's tried her best to find stable income, but we're still temporarily living with my grandfather, and that's sadly not going to last much longer. He's gotten very, very sick, and I think his time has almost nearly come.
Oh, fuck.
Oh dear, Evan, I'm so sorry to hear that. My condolences and prayers go out to you and your family.
Greatly appreciated.
We prefer cash, though.
What about you? How have you been doing?
I was doing well. Fuck. Yeah, can't say I'm surprised.
Now, you've learned your lesson.
Dad. Dad, what the hell is wrong with you?
What do you mean? I did the world a big favor and make sure that Dr. Mongrove got what he deserved.
You are sick. You
Sick
just
for
killed
what?
an innocent man.
And I'll do it
Beating
again.
the shit out of you?
Everyone is against me. And it's all your fault. Same with that whore,
Oh.
the old man, and anyone else who has defied me. My life is wrecked because of you people. Now,
You did
will
this
pay
to yourself.
The ultimate price.
Dad, don't do it.
Too late. Die, you worthless excuse of a son.
No, you.
The hell? Why is this damn thing not working?
The pistol somehow jammed, and that was my only window of opportunity to escape. I ran as far away from that park as I could, and didn't stop. I was too scared to comprehend what had just happened. After running for almost 2 miles, I hid in a nearby alleyway, then texted my mom to let her know what had happened. Gabe was pronounced dead at the scene of the crime, while my dad was nowhere to be found. My dad shooting Gabe was the last straw. And later that same night, my mom and I were asked to meet my grandfather in his bedroom.
Good, you're both here. Now, I think we all know why I've called you both in here to come and see me.
I'm dying.
Evan, it's become very clear that your dad, the man all of us thought was a loving, kind and respectful man, is gone.
I'd like to know where
He
that
has fully
concept
turned into
came
someone
from.
filled with anger, and who is pure evil on the inside, as if he's like a devil in disguise. I know how difficult it must have been for you to witness someone close to you get murdered. Something like that is never forgettable, no matter how hard you try and move on.
I still can't believe Owen would kill a man as innocent as Dr. Mongrove. He's done so much for our family.
Indeed. I am forever grateful for what Mr. Mungrove has done for Evan. I'll have to send my regards to him in person, once my time has come to. But that's for a later time. The
I'm not
important
going to make
thing
a
right
comment
now
on that.
is to focus on
I'm
this
just not
urgent
going to.
matter. It's evident
Disrespectful.
that it's become far too dangerous for you both to continue living here in
Possibly
Piners
that it got
Ridge.
worse.
But Dad, we can't just pack things up and move. I don't have the money, and I'm struggling to find another job.
I had a feeling you'd say that, Sarah. The thing is, you actually are more than capable of moving out of this house and leaving Piners Ridge for good before Owen has any kind of chance to finish what he started. Because you have over $1 million in your savings account.
What?
All ready to go for you.
$1 million.
Yes, honey.
You transferred your
I
bank
know,
account,
it sounds
didn't you?
crazy, or even illogical for that to be even possible, but what I'm saying to you now is the truth. You would have been told about the money sooner, but after everything with Owen started happening, no chances could be taken. If Owen found out that a large sum of cash was right underneath his nose, he would have never stopped until he got his hands on it. All of that money will be far more than enough to rent a moving truck, pack up everything you want.
Where did you get $1 million?
Somewhere else to help you both start over.
But how did you manage to get $1 million into my savings account?
How'd you manage to get $1 million?
A few strings being pulled, and some sacrifices along the way.
And the lottery
When you
being
have
won.
over 40 years in business experience, it's actually easier than it sounds. And the reason I deposited such a large amount of money into your account, Sarah, is a simple one. I promised myself that before I went to heaven, I would make sure you and Evan were both at a good place in life.
Must have been in the
I know you
will
both
from
were
the
born and raised here in
grandmother
Piners
too.
Ridge since the beginning, and leaving would be too emotional. But given the circumstances of what Owen's been doing for years, and with what he's done today, it's not worth the risk to stay here.
Well, now that I know all of this information, where are me and Evan supposed to move
Probably been a
to?
millionaire the entire
That's
time.
entirely up to you, honey. Though if I had to give you my honest opinion, I'd highly recommend heading west for the coasts of California. Then pass through San Francisco and travel north, then keep going until you reach a town known as Tyndale Valley.
That way you can be
Your
in a
mom
Jace and
and I would
Jessica
always visit
series.
there every summer. From what I can remember, it's a great place to raise
I
a
should have said a
family.
Beyond
There's
series.
always lots to do there, and it would be a great place for Evan to try and make some new friends. The properties there though aren't going to come cheap, but I think investing into one of them would be more than worth it. Plus, there's always lots of suitable jobs and employment options, so covering living expenses shouldn't be a problem either.
I suppose I could take a look at some of the properties online, first thing tomorrow.
If we're serious about moving to California to this, Tyndale Valley, how long do you think it'll take for the move to happen?
If all goes well, we could be out of Piners Ridge by November at the earliest. I guess the sooner, the better.
What about my dad? He could return one day to kill us without warning.
Oh, I highly doubt that, Evan. Your dad's face was all over the evening news. He's a wanted man for murder, and police
I thought
aren't
they
going to
said
give
he
up
wasn't
until he's
anywhere.
found. I doubt even your dad is stupid enough to show his face here in
Then again, I
Piners
guess
Ridge
Evan
again,
probably could have
after
given
shooting
an
an
explanation of
innocent
what it looked like.
African-American. If he's recognized by even one person around here,
And there are
the
probably other
police
people
are
on the
sure
scene.
to find and arrest him in no time. For now, until you move out of this town, I think you and your mom are safe.
And from that night on, my mom had a plan in place, and we agreed to move out as soon as we could. 1 month later, my grandfather's heart finally gave out on him, and he passed away. But thanks to all of his help, my mom and I were able to get out of Piners Ridge and move all the way here to Tyndale Valley. Honestly, if it wasn't for what my grandfather did, I don't know where I would be today.
My God, babe, I'm speechless right now with what you just told all of us.
You told me not to leave it a
I'm sorry
single
that
detail.
stuff happened to you.
Thanks very much, baby.
Alright, now I think it's time that you answer a question, Evan. One that I'm sure all of us have on our lips. What connection does your backstory have to today's events that caused you to not show up for Taylor's birthday?
So now we finally catch up to the current
This is what
day.
happened. I had gotten Taylor's text, getting the invite to her birthday, just as I had finished wrapping up the birthday present that I got her.
Hey honey, what are you up to?
Hey Mom,
There's no one at
I'm
that
just
party wearing
preparing
face
to head
masks.
out
I
to
noticed
see
that.
Taylor. Today is her 18th
Yeah,
birthday,
screw it.
and I'm looking forward to spending it with her.
Really? Well, good for her. Tell Taylor I said happy birthday.
I sure will.
Just came in to say goodbye and that I love you, before heading into work. But before I leave, may I suggest that you wear a face mask if you're going over to Taylor's?
Mom, you worry too much. There have been only a few minor reported cases here in Tyndale Valley since the pandemic started, all of which resulted in no deaths, and the virus itself faded away from town earlier this August.
I wish
But
that
I
was
get
the
it.
case everywhere
Masks
else
are
in the
still a major
world.
requirement
That
until
would
the
be
pandemic
nice.
blows over.
And that's why you should follow standard procedure, and wear a face mask too, just to be safe. Same with those new friends of yours that you've been hanging out with since late October, early November.
But Mom, no one else will,
It's
so
not
why
my
should
fault
I?
that Taylor, Carly, Jace, Jessica, and their friends don't wear face masks as often as they're supposed to like everyone else.
Well, then they can't go complaining if they end up getting sick. Anyway, I better get going before I'm late for work. Bye, Evan. I love you.
Bye, Mom. I love you too, and stay safe. A couple hours later, I shot Taylor the text to let her know that I was on my way. Before I left, I decided to make myself something really quick to eat, which I figured would only take me 10 to 15 minutes tops. Unfortunately, I never got that chance.
Hello, son.
I didn't even hear you open the door.
Tell me, have you missed your daddy?
No, this has to be some kind of trick. You're nothing but a bad memory in my head.
Oh, believe me, I'm not a memory. Did you honestly think you and your mother could get away that easily?
How did you find out about our new address?
That is none of your concern.
That's entirely my
I do
concern.
believe we got a lot of catching up to do. Get your mother on the phone. Tell her she needs to come home.
So
Get
what's
on
your
the
end goal
fucking
of all
phone.
this? You
That's an order.
call them,
Whenever
you
I
shoot
say
them, and
goes.
then what? Your life is magically better?
No, you can fuck off.
Want to rephrase that? You're the worthless piece of shit who is staring down my pistol.
True, but you think that pistol will give you all the authority and judgment to do whatever you want right now. Truth is, all of your drinking over the years has caused you to lose your sanity, and you're making a mistake.
Wrong. The only mistake here is that you actually think you have any room to talk. I am always superior, always in control, and always will get my way.
I think this is the first time I've
Nobody
ever
can
seen him
stop
without
me.
a bottle in hand.
Not your mother, not the police, and especially not you.
Listen to yourself. You aren't thinking clearly. You're only doing this because you're allowing foolish actions to cloud your mind. But if you insist, then go ahead and shoot me. But I doubt you have the balls to do it, old man.
Doubt that I have the balls to do it, huh? Well then, I say we test that theory.
That's how that broke. Fuck. Surprised I still had a picture of their marriage up, honestly. Fuck. The guy that has runs on the gun first. Ooh.
I warned you that you were making a mistake. Now don't you fucking move.
You are a fool. That pistol is useless to you. I suggest you hand it over.
Just leave, Dad. It's over. You have nothing left. You're now being warned that you shouldn't have come here at all, because this is the result of your foolish actions.
Give me my fucking pistol. You and your mother are going to pay for ruining my life. Your mom sent me to rehab back to the divorce to try and help me. I was told to stay away so I could move on with my life. And I've been drinking non-stop. All that stuff is you and your mother's fault.
Shut up, Dad. Enough with blaming the
So
results
ignore
of
the
your failure
therapist.
on others.
Fine. Be the way. If you're not going to take responsibility for ruining my life, then you leave me with no choice. It's time for you
You're the
to
one who's not
buy.
responsibility for taking your own, for living your own life. Evan would be like, huh, I just shot a man. Huh.
And that's what happened. My dad had all the intention to kill both my mom and me. Probably himself too, so that if the police found out about his location, they wouldn't have a chance.
I missed how he got the scar.
But as quickly as
I guess the
things
bullet
started,
that he
I
fired
managed
flew
to gain
past his
control of
head.
the
Barely
situation
missing.
and got
I
my
don't know.
hands on my dad's pistol. However, I saw no alternative to ending the conflict. My dad would have either escaped before I
And
could
then I
call
shot
the
him
police,
36 times
or would
in the
have tried
chest.
to continue fighting until he got his pistol back. So I had no choice.
You
but
could have
to
shot
shoot
him in
my
the
dad.
leg.
My God.
It was either that, or die trying to save myself from a horrible fate. I did clean up all the blood after the shooting.
You could
but
have
I
shot
didn't
him in the
bother cleaning
leg
up any of the living
and
room
call the
damage from the
police.
fight. At least not yet, until Carly fainted after coming in through the front door, when she saw the aftermath of what had happened. While she rested, I knew I had to try and clean up the living room as best as I could. I knew it wasn't going to be enough to trick Carly, but it was all I could do. And now, I sit here on the couch, talking to each and every one of you about my past, while being unable to leave because of the dead body decomposing in my house.
Hey everyone, I have
Wait
a
till
quick
your mom
favor to
gets
ask
home.
you all. Can you give me and Evan some time alone to talk in private? There's a lot I need to get off my chest.
Okay, Taylor.
Yeah, we better give Taylor and Evan some alone time to talk things out.
Look, babe, don't say anything. What you've told all of us must have been hard for you, and I'm proud of you for being able to come forward and explain your history. Fact of the matter is, you've done something that you simply cannot undo. So here's my advice. Own up to your actions for killing your dad, and do what you can to get yourself out of this situation. If you'd like, my mom can help you out too if you need help finding a lawyer. At this point, the best thing to do is to let the rest of my birthday go on without you. I know it sucks, but I don't really think there's any alternative. I can at least say that I forgive you for what happened. Knowing that my boyfriend is okay and that nothing bad has happened to him is all I can really ask for. My
He only
18th
shot a
birthday may not
man.
have gone the way I hoped, but honestly, I need to make an exception. We're going to get through this together. I promise.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Go ahead, love, make a wish.
That's honestly a tough one. This birthday already seems so perfect.
Trust your heart, Jessica. Give it a little thought.
Your birthday's the 30th?
I got it.
Way to go, Jess.
Now, to cut the first piece of cake.
Frozen in Jace's face. No, wait, no, Jace returns the favor. Who, what am I saying?
Yo, Jessica, why don't you give the first piece to Jace?
I was going to Taylor. Then again, this boyfriend of mine could do something cheeky.
Oh come on, love, I would never do anything like that. I would do this.
I'd never pay you back for what happened.
You'll want to rephrase that, Jessica.
Oops.
Jace, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
God damn it.
Lighten up, Steph. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm still gonna sue the crap out of you.
Don't worry, Stephanie. You'll be cleaned up in no time. Jace, no cake for you until you help Stephanie get all the frosting out of her hair.
But it was an accident.
I'll be happy to lick it out.
Sorry,
No!
I don't think you can talk yourself out of this one.
Don't I have a say in this?
No, you do not. Now let's go, mister.
Man, I cannot wait for this stupid ass year to be over with.
Now then, who wants cake?
and its sequel to begin.
Okay, we have to try and start making predictions on what Jace's surprise for Jessica is going to be.
Well, it's not like we can guess it in the next 2 hours, before 4 reals do their special performance outside in the backyard.
Oh, come on, Kylie. Where is your
A
enthusiasm?
birthday cake to the face.
I'm just
Happy
saying,
birthday.
Maybe Jace's surprise is just really simple, like a specially made
I
birthday
liked it.
gift or something.
True. Or maybe the surprise could be something really exciting.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows what Jace has in store waiting to be unveiled.
Oh, come on, Elvis. Surely Jace told you or Mimi about what the surprise was. Didn't he?
No.
Who let the
Jace didn't
Presley
tell
in
us
here?
either. Elvis and I offered to have him tell us, and then have us keep it a secret as well. But Jace kindly said no thank you, because he really wanted to give the surprise more of a suspense factor.
I guess that makes sense. Though it seems
He has a
everyone
drum roll
was
and
what you
everything.
said.
Well, guess we'll have to take Vice Principal Elvis's advice, and just wait. Won't have to be for very long though.
Hello everybody, thank you all for your patience, and for coming out for tonight's special performance. But just you are the 4 of us.
He's not gonna
I'm Carla
propose,
Haven,
is
lead
he?
singer.
I am Taylor Haven, on guitar.
I am Serena Frost, on bass.
And I am Marcel Wright, on drums.
Together,
we are 4
reals.
reals.
Tonight we celebrate Jessica K. Anderson's 21st birthday, while getting even closer to the end of 2020. I'd like to also take this time to thank my friend Stephanie Phillips. Thanks to her, you all will get to hear me sing for the first time ever during a 4 reels performance. During this first song, you will get to hear what my singing voice is like now.
And that first song is called Crack the Sky.
Snails
In a
on
way,
chalkboard.
This song represents all of us. as
Does
we
anybody even
say
know what a
goodbye to
chalkboard
the
is
sea
anymore?
And start to see the light towards recovery.
It's just over to my
A 1,
right.
a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
My ears. Thank goodness it's only in one of my ears. I turned it up for the confession to make sure I didn't miss a detail. Now it's coming back to bite me. No one ever said Marcel would be have a singing point. I said it was country, now it's metal. Marcel's really into it. I can't hear you, Jessica. Quite the song. Trapped in this hell we're in. What a fitting song for 2020.
And great job rocking out with those dance moves. Now before we perform our next song, Ain't Nobody Like You, we would like to invite someone up here. Jace Hubbard, I believe you have a surprise for Jessica that's ready to be revealed.
Oh. Well,
so you
I
know
thought I
about
could've
it.
Waited till after the entire performance.
Oh come on, Jace. Grow a pair of balls.
Baby, you might as well get up there. There isn't really much you can do now that Taylor's trying to throw some insults your way.
Well, I guess I don't really have a choice then.
It's the most realistic sigh I've heard from these talk-to-speech things.
Well, I wasn't exactly expecting to come up here right away, so I'll just wing it. First and foremost, happy birthday to my lovely girlfriend, Jessica. You and I have had quite a journey together, and I look forward to what our future has in store. Now on to the reason why I'm up here. As some of you already know, I have a surprise for Jessica's birthday, but I haven't revealed what that surprise is. Until now. Everyone, in just a couple months' time, I will be relocating to a new housing unit in Tyndale Valley, to help me start living on my own and be more independent. And Jess, I want you to move in with me.
You're telling her you're moving so that you
Jace, you're not serious, are you?
That's quite the surprise.
I know it's often a bad idea sometimes for couples to move in together, but Jessica and I have been through so much together. If there's anyone I want to pick to move in with me, she'll always be my first choice. But ultimately, the final decision rests on Jessica, and nobody else. So Jess, do you want to take me upon my offer now? Or do you want to wait until you're more comfortable with moving in with me? This is entirely up to you, and no matter what your decision is, I'll stand by you on it.
The same goes for us too.
Choose what you think is right, Jessica.
Quite the big responsibility. And I guess we're not going to get the answer. Quite the way to end a big episode. God damn it. Have just a quiet outro and the next intro comes up. It's like, blah. Okay, I need to process this. Give me a minute. Oh, that was, wow. Sorry about the background noise if you hear any. It's just, I just plugged my laptop in because it was about to die. I didn't exactly want it dying halfway through the recording. That would have sucked. So, yeah. I don't know if it's made that sound the entire video now that I think about it. It does that sometimes. Either way. Just, yeah, a lot of shit happened this episode. I don't know if Jace was expecting me to get up and walk around again, but the thing is, the difference between this and Taylor is that Taylor's story arc was a bit more of an arc, whereas Evans is just telling us, so I guess it's not as impactful. Like, I don't know. Like, the shock is more pronounced, but it's like, there wasn't any, like, build up to it. It just kind of, I don't know. I shouldn't really be justifying why one deserves a friggin' get up and walk around as opposed to another. I don't know. Just, wow. So Evan is fucked up because his father raped him. And has been following him his entire life, making his life utter hell. And... fuck. Just... damn it. Guy's a piece of shit. I think we can all agree on that part. Whether or not he deserved to die is an entirely different story, but... that was Evan acting in the moment. He didn't probably think. He just thought in rage, in which case this man has been ruining his entire life and thought this was the only way to stop him. Even though playing Monday morning quarterback or whatever the term, being like hindsight 2020, he could have done other things, but in the heat of a moment where he's got a gun in his hand, he probably thought this was the only solution to stop it once and for all. Otherwise, Father might not have stopped. Probably would have gone to the mother next, and so on and so forth. I'd like to know what his plan was after the fact, but I don't think he thought that far in advance. Be like, great, they're dead now. Now my life is automatically fixed. He's insane from all the alcohol drinking. No one ruined his life but him. How his life came to be like that, I don't understand, though. But it's probably one of those things where it's not going to be a backstory. Like why the uncle was a rapist, you know? Sometimes people are just evil. Whether or not the father was evil the entire time, I don't know. We could speculate about his character, but I don't think we are not going to see his character ever again, so let's not focus on that, I guess. Just, does this justify Evan shooting a man? Probably not, because there are other ways he could have done this, but the guy also tortured Evan and made his life a living hell. Or it just ruining his life day in and day. He was anytime Evan was happy, just I don't know. I've always I don't know. I can understand why Evan did it and why he thought it was the right thing to do. I don't agree with the decision, but I also can't see things fully from Evan's point of view because I haven't been that level of harassed my entire life. Like, I've been harassed my life, felt like I was followed my life, but I don't get to that level of it followed me home. Home was usually a safe haven for me, but it never was for him. It never was for him. I don't know what the father getting the information would ever be plot point to go into later, but I don't know how you would go into it. I don't know. Maybe you've just checked Evan's Facebook account and he was an idiot. I don't know. A lot to think of on this episode. Quite the season finale. All this dark and depressing stuff happened. Let's celebrate, eh? It's nice of Taylor to be accepting of her boyfriend. Whether you think it's the right decision or not is entirely your decision. Her decision is her decision. He's become his... oh no, I was going to say he's became his father, but technically that's not true. He's not drinking. You kill a murderer, the amount of killers in the world remain the same, which is why you don't stop at just one. Anyway. It's nice of Taylor to be so considerate of him, considering this is probably because she knows there's probably a lot for him to go through and whatnot. And offer support. That's nice of her. She could have just been like, I'm calling the cops on you right now. And both of them could have said that at any point, and they didn't. So, whether you I guess they're more at peace, people. Actually, when you think about it, anyone in that room could have called 911 right there and then, really. Although they might not have known where Evan lived. Just... I don't know. I really don't know. It's a lot of information to take in. Like, the father was a piece of shit. I won't deny that one. He deserves... knowing the father, he probably would have tried to get out of jail, too, considering he broke off with his own therapist to try to get better and fix his own life. He ruined his own life and he decided to blame everyone else. If your life is ruined, odds are it's your own fault. They're not ruining your lives, you're ruining their lives. But what did she see in that man? Maybe she thought she could make it better. Some of these questions will never get answers. And they won't get answers now that one of them is dead. Can't imagine how the mother's gonna react to seeing a corpse. And finding out, I shot Dad. Probably going to jail, or at least juvie, or some sort of community service. That's a pretty safe bet. Whether you think it was justified or not, murder is still murder. It wasn't even manslaughter, it was just straight up murder. I don't know what to think. I really don't. This episode has just made jokes throughout the entire thing, but that was mainly the fact that I knew that if I didn't, it's very fucked up. So I don't know. Maybe I use my jokes as a defense mechanism. In a sense, I tend to do that sometimes when I'm getting too depressed. I make a joke just to save myself from the mental impact, so it doesn't break me and make me just depressed. It doesn't always work, but it's a defense mechanism I've adopted. I'm going on forever on this, and I don't really have anything to say because I don't know what to think. Why a way to end the season? I could say that much. It's quite a way to end a season. Can't only begin matter what the next season finale is going to be. Everyone's dead. One season, you've already had 2 rapists. That's another thing. The father was another piece of shit. I don't know what to think. I want to think that he didn't deserve to die, but at the same time, going through all the evils he did, and he probably did. I'm surprised he didn't kill the grandmother, and that was just some random dude. So if we kept going with him being alive, he probably would have been like, I was the one who killed the grandmother. Mwahaha. Although that could still be figured out, considering we never got the answers to who the drunk driver was. Jace is probably writing this stuff down. Who knows? I don't know. I don't think Evan and Taylor's relationship is over, though, but I do think it's going to hit a massive brick wall, as it justifiably should. It's realistic. I don't know what to think. I really don't. I hope the next episode is more cheerful. I don't know. It can't be any darker. I say that, but last time I tried saying that. It was a previous episode. We don't need any dark things right now. Dark thing happens. I don't know what to think with Evan now. I don't think he's been ruined as a character. I don't think he's been justified as a character. I just don't know what to think. I can see why he needs therapy, though. I can agree with that much. I need therapy after all this shit, too. And that's even before, because my father was talking to me all that shit. Well, actually, my father's a nice man who is living with me, who I still get along with, so I shouldn't just say it like that. But, you know, like, if I knew that someone who I was afraid of and was making my life hell was following me, I'd probably need some therapy, too. Like, that was probably just him talking about the baggage that he had in his previous life. I don't know, maybe just need a therapist. It just... Well, there's one fact I can think of. And I've already lost it. The father was a piece of shit. There we go. I know I said that 500 times, but that's because it's like the only conclusion I can come to. Just... I don't know what to think. Maybe I should just stop here before the entire thing just becomes, I don't know what to think, etc.